Our taste inspiration often appears in some hidden corners. Knowledge gained from preservation has been passed down through generations, forming culinary traditions that have shaped the dietary culture of the Chinese people. Little did we know that behind the experience is a dialogue with time, as well as a connection with microorganisms, developing a keen eye for change. Is what you see as you imagined? Open the channel between the microscopic world and taste aesthetics. Let's embark on a journey to explore the natural change of flavors together. There are only a few days until the winter solstice. In the Altai region, the daytime temperature has dropped below -35 degrees Celsius. Bahatibik and his brothers are herding more than 300 sheep to the winter pasture.
Herding sheep in summer is different from in winter. In winter, the sheep move fast in the snow, so they sweat. Then at night, they are likely to catch a chill.
The winter pasture is 80 kilometers away from the autumn pasture. It doesn't sound far, but it takes 3 days to drive the sheep there.
I started herding sheep at the winter pasture with my dad in 2000. I was 16 back then. Before that I was attending school, and my family lived in the mountainous areas.
In the biting cold wind, both people and other living things are in search of warmth and fullness. Crossing the Yalunga River, the terrain becomes gentler. The wind and snow gradually weaken, and the flock finally reaches a grassland not completely covered in snow. Here, they will spend the next 4 months. After settling down, the first task is the Dongzai Festival. This is the most important activity for Kazakh herders on the winter pasture, and a major test that every Kazakh boy must go through in childhood. Only grabbing a handful of wool may not necessarily signify failure. In the future, there will be things way harder than catching a sheep, waiting for young Baha to challenge. These strong Altai horses, although bred by herders, have retained their wild nature. A sudden move, a contest of speed. This is a game between man and nature, and a skill unknown to others that the Kazaks possess. At this time, the prefab building for winter provided by the local government has arrived. Young Bahar is curious about the big house seemingly falling from the sky. But he is even more concerned about the special yurt that appears every winter. It is a spacious structure standing 3 meters high. Given its structure, it is not intended for living. For the Kazak herders, this yurt is a cold storage unit with limited space. During the 4 months at the winter pasture, with an average temperature of minus 30 degrees Celsius, young Baha and his family rely almost entirely on meat for energy. Eating horse meat is a long-standing tradition of the Kazaks. A horse can yield about 230 kilograms of fresh meat, equivalent to 6 sheep. Nuermulati, the father in his 70s, has the most experience in processing meat for winter. While the meat is still warm, he quickly sprinkles it with salt to cure it. This is a meat preservation method most familiar to Chinese people.
Take 2 slabs of ribs, each containing 12 bones. 2 ribs make a set, fitting perfectly into the horse intestines.
The ribs are a mix of meat and tendon, fatty and fragrant. The horse intestine acts as an outerwear for the ribs, locking in the juices and fats. The length of the ribs corresponds perfectly to the length of the horse intestine. The connected ribs match the length of the entire intestine. The horse meat and kazai are hung in the yurt, bringing confidence to the family to brave the winter. The hostess Mirgali assumes responsibility for the family's meals. The grand feast after Dongzai depends on her cooking.
Life isn't easy, but my husband and I work very hard to improve our living standards. Hope everything goes well for us at the winter pasture.
When the taba nan is ready, a feast centered on fresh meat begins. Kuerdak is Mirgali's specialty, meaning diced fresh meat stir-fried with sheeptail fat. Before serving, some chopped onions are added. The fragrances of spices, fat, and meat fills the air. Kuerdak with horse meat can only be enjoyed during Dongzai, every winter. In the winter pasture, vegetables are even more precious than meat. Tender lamb leg, paired with potatoes, is a treat prepared especially by the mother for young Baha.
My biggest dream is to open a large restaurant.
After the feast of fresh meat, the family will rely on the yurt that stores hope for the harsh winter ahead. In the extreme cold, nearing minus 50 degrees Celsius, the water inside cells becomes ice crystals. The activity of microorganisms and enzymes is suppressed, allowing the meat to be stored in this limited space for a long time. Burning saxaul and cypress branches in the yurt for 3 to 4 hours a day for a whole month not only accelerates the dehydration of the meat, but also imparts a subtle smoky flavor. On sunny days, Mirgali will walk to clean snowfields, untouched by the sheep, to collect snow for melting into water. At this point, the kazai has dried completely, leaving a thin, translucent casing. The meat, bones, and golden fat inside gradually release their flavors when boiled with melted snow, turning into a pot of aromatic broth. Cook the mian pian in the broth. Uncover the resilient casing. Slice the rib meat with fatty layers along the bone. This unique delicacy is a source of energy for the whole family to get through the winter.
Every seasonal migration, my wife always accompanies me. Sometimes there are challenges, but we never give up and make it through.
This yurt gives people the courage to withstand the extreme cold. Although the stay is brief, hope has already taken root. In the harsh environment, the inspiration for preserving food has been passed down year after year into rare flavors found in nature.
Shorten the net above a bit.
By Halong Lake, the water network is interconnected. Almost every family has their own ecological fish pond. Yijibing has been raising fish in this pond for more than 2 years. It's the 12th lunar month. Time to open the blind box.
This weighs over 20 kilograms.
Which is larger?
The temperature is close to freezing. After being exposed to the wind for 5 days, the fish isn't completely dehydrated, but it's well prepared for the transformation. The small house by the fish pond has no windows, less than 5 square meters. Yet it is a magic tool for creating delicacies. Smoke and heat flow in the curing chamber. Remove the remaining moisture in the fish while infusing it with a smoky aroma. Five days later, the fish has totally transformed, becoming oily and waxy, red as fire. The aroma of rice, fish, chard, and barbecue, the complex flavor, cannot be simply described as smoky. Hunong people invigorate winter with smoke and fire. Everything can be cured. The old fishermen living in the Dongting Lake area are used to steaming the belly of a large cured fish, weighing more than 10 kilograms, and cured meat. On Chinese New Year's Eve, this simple steamed dish of cured products is the most authentic flavor in the lake area. The smoky flavor was born from the wisdom of preserving food. Dehydration and drying are an ancient culinary practice. The occupation of Laren, dried meat maker, was already documented in the Western Zhou dynasty. In the process of transforming from fresh to dry, we gradually discover that those wonderful aromas often originate from changes in the microscopic world. Guess what this is? Here's a hint. It is related to a fruit. In November, even the sunny days in Zhejiang are shrouded in a thin mist. However, there is one thing that stands out against the cold and gloomy winter days. At this time, they are dressed in red robes and look plump. Mandarin orange, the oldest citrus variety in China, has a cultivation history dating back over 2,000 years. to be preserved for a long time. It requires the cooperation of sunlight and time. When drying, the inside of the orange peel performs a great transformation. The peel fibers tighten, and the oil glands cheer up, releasing a unique fragrance. This is an unexpected surprise brought by drying. This occasional fragrance leaves a memorable impression on the diverse Sichuan cuisine. Compared to the mellow flavor of Guangdong chinpi, Sichuan chinpi has a stronger aroma. The touch of orange fragrance and bitterness defines the unique flavor profile of chinpi in the spicy Sichuan cuisine, with its special existence. The guaiwei flavor blends salty, sweet, numbing, spicy, sour, umami, and fragrant tastes, with chinpi added as the final flourish. In Sichuan, dried orange peels are a flavor enhancer, while in other places, dried products often play the main role on the table.
Sea bass? Is this sea bass fish maw?
Yes.
How many in 500 grams?
42.
42.
In Hong Kong, along the Old Street, there are more than 100 dried seafood stores. Most of them are family-run businesses for generations.
I've been doing business here for 73 years.
We've been doing this since my father started it. For 60 years now.
Dried Seafood Street is not an official name, but a customary title. Its history dates back to the late Qing dynasty, when Hong Kong was opened as a port. Seafood business was originally one of the main businesses of Guangzhou 13 factories. As times change, the variety of dried food here has gradually enriched. In the fast-paced Hong Kong, it preserves a slow-paced time filled with fragrance.
The job is free and easy.
Drying extends the shelf life of seafood. For thousands of years, the Chinese have honed the wisdom of dried and fresh foods, creating an upgrade in taste and texture. Flavors transform within a small space. In Guangdong, dried fish maw is commonly referred to as huajiao. It is a crucial ingredient for Guangdong-style soup. Since the umami of the fish maw is preserved with the aging of time, both high and low-quality dried fish maw require skillful rehydration to unlock their potential.
The rehydration time for different dried seafood varies. If it is soaked in green onion ginger sauce, it will become more delicious.
In the green onion ginger sauce at 80 degrees Celsius, the dried fish maw gradually softens. Then soaking it in ice water overnight, it restores its elasticity and locks in nutrients. Shedding its dried form, it now contains over 80% of collagen, revealing the beauty of eternal youth and presenting an enticing, elastic appearance. The loading of the umami flavor requires an additional 4 hours of double boiling. This is a comforting canteen at late night, as well as a cheerful song in a city that can't be muted. From fresh to dry, and preserving umami through drying. In the passage of time, we have become nature's apprentices, mastering the art of preserving food in a small space by harnessing nature's wonders through accidentally discovered food inspiration. The Chinese found the key to exploring a new world: microorganisms.
Mr. Zhou,
I'm buying tofu.
Okay.
Your tofu is really good. His family has been running a tofu shop for generations.
This tofu shop, hidden in the valley, is tucked away in a corner of the village.
You can buy more next time.
Soy pulp. It's yummy. This is delicious.
Delicious it is, but I haven't made much.
Make more.
See you.
Okay.
We need to book in advance, or maybe build a little rapport. Tell Mr. Zhao to keep some for us so that we can buy some. Save some for me next time. Okay?
Only he can make this. He is an experienced master.
The hidden delicacy of the tofu shop is only available for 3 months after the beginning of winter. But the boss's joy is unlimited. The most sought-after hidden delicacy in Zhou's shop is not fresh tofu, but the byproduct left after making tofu. Therefore, the soybeans must be peeled.
Unpeeled soybeans will make it rough and not taste good. Peeled ones, if you grind them finer, taste better. My dad made tofu, and I learned from him.
Having been passed down for 3 generations, Zhou's skill is perfect now. 3 years ago, Zhou had a surgery and cannot strain his back. These tools that cleverly utilize leverage were all developed by himself. There's a reason for the birth of every master. Optimism and eagerness to learn are Zhou's secrets to success. The unique ingredient of the shop's specialty is the leftover residue after squeezing soy milk. Soy pulp.
The soy pulp is entirely my own discovery. When my father sold tofu, he didn't make soy pulp because he couldn't make it well. At first, I couldn't make soy pulp successfully in one go. It often takes many failures. If the heat is too high, it will burn. If it's too low, it won't dry out.
Stripping away the palm and embracing humility, soy pulp is reborn, transforming from worthless to extraordinary. The wisdom of the Chinese always explains the extraordinary in the ordinary. In Zhou's view, frying the soy pulp until just dry without burning is the foundation for the next step.
Generally, it requires some skills. But some things can't be explained. It's experience. It's the experience gained from practices.
Now the outdoor temperature is close to 0 degrees Celsius, according to Zhou's experience, using charcoal to control the room temperature at around 15 degrees Celsius. After 4 days, the surface of the soy pulp will develop a layer of creamy yellow fuzz. This indicates that microorganisms floating in the room have taken root.
Basically, failures are extremely rare, almost non-existent.
At this stage, the soy pulp is a battlefield for microorganisms. Neurospora crassa is a type of fungus widely found in nature. It ferments high crude fiber soy pulp under suitable temperatures to produce carotenoids, resulting in a striking orange-red color. Outdoors, the growth of the maize silage mold is often interfered with by miscellaneous bacteria, while this temperature-controlled room, where entry is restricted, nurtures many high-quality bacterial floras, allowing Zhou to create a self-sustaining micro-world by coincidence. These culinary secrets of the microscopic world do not come from textbooks, nor rely on the experience of predecessors, but sprout from accidental inspiration, take root, and blossom after years of attempts. Now in the village, he is the only one who can make fermented soy pulp with an orange-red hue.
My tofu and soy pulp can be seen in many places nationwide. Many people buy and send them, or take them elsewhere. Clack goes the bamboo clapper. Let's not talk about anything else. Just say that my tofu is so good. I'm out here hustling every day. I learn whatever I like. I learn and use it until I'm old.
Fermented soy products are rich in free amino acids. Paired with fish soup, it can extract a rich and mellow aroma. These transformed soy pulp, gold bricks, have a texture similar to pork luncheon meat. The intense umami flavor is even a cut above meat. But in Zoe's home, there is only one way to eat them: dried chili and lard. Bring out the unique simplicity of the northern Hunang Mountains. Bubbling in the old hearth is not only a flavorful and spicy soy pulp soup, but also a steadfast optimism towards life.
Actually, I'm just a happy person who likes to laugh. Even if I'm broke and have nothing to eat, I still laugh. I laugh as soon as I start talking.
In the daily successes and failures, we have figured out the temperament of microorganisms and summarized cooking wisdom. Of the various ways, there is the same secret. In Shanzhou, Hunan Province, persimmon vinegar is a faithful companion to the 3 meals a day of every family.
Mom, welcome home. Just in time for lunch. Soaked buns in hot water. Try some.
Okay. Nice.
Is all the corn harvested?
Yes.
Lu Junhui and her mother-in-law live in a cave dwelling in a Deakin courtyard. The frost descent is approaching. The busy farming season is coming to an end.
Ready.
The 7-meter deep Deakin courtyard follows the dwelling style of the Yangshao culture over 5,000 years ago. All 3 generations of Lu's family live here.
Take the corn.
The design of cave dwellings has evolved continuously, but they have kept the features of constant temperature and humidity, warm in winter and cool in summer. As in previous years, Lu Junhui takes a few photos in their orchard and sends a summons to her husband, Li Minghui, who is away from home.
Mom, after lunch, I'll go pick persimmons. With Junhui.
No matter how busy he is, Li Minghui always takes leave to come home at this time. Frost descent is the last solar term of autumn. As the day-to-night temperature gap grows, fructose condenses, and a white frost appears on the skin of the persimmons, indicating that the sugar content has reached its best at this time.
Look! After frost descent, the layer of white frost on the skin of persimmons. increases. This is natural acetic acid bacteria. We rely on it when brewing vinegar.
Li Minghui is good at making persimmon vinegar. The brewing workshop is a cave dwelling in the Deakin courtyard. Lu Junhui stays home year-round, just to guard this treasure. The secret to brewing quality vinegar without using any foreign fermentation bacteria lies in this temperature and humidity-controlled cave dwelling. Over a period of 2 years, microorganisms slowly convert the sugar in the persimmons into acetic acid. The practice of making persimmon vinegar dates back to the Northern Song dynasty. It is the most common home brewing method in northern China.
Generally, persimmons that have been fermented for 2 years can be distilled into alcohol, but it's not ready to make vinegar yet. This is when skill matters. The better the vinegar is made, the more authentic the vinegar will be.
When the bubbling in the vat becomes increasingly sparse, Li Minghui knows it's time to make the vinegar. In Chinese, the term is lingsu, a process that adds wheat straw and repeatedly stirs the mixture. The impurities are absorbed and filtered. At the same time, the vinegar mash fully interacts with the air to promote oxidative fermentation and accumulate aromatic substances.
The lingsu process must be repeated at least 9 times. Then it must be exposed to sunlight and stored in the cave for over a year. Once the vinegar is clear, its taste and flavor reach their best.
Brewing vinegar originated from brewing wine. The history of consuming vinegar in China spans over 3,000 years. Sourness is a prominent flavor among the 5 flavors, not only because of its antiquity, but also due to its unique taste appeal.
Rice vinegar, commonly used in Beijing, is solid-state fermented, with a milder taste. It is especially suitable for dishes, like stir-fries with vinegar.
Adding rice vinegar in cooking has its rules. Usually, the vinegar is added around the edge of the wok before serving, instantly releasing aromatic substances and stimulating a sour and tangy flavor.
Generally, the vinegar we use at home has a 3.5 to 4 degree acidity, while sweet and sour fish uses 6 degree mature vinegar.
When it comes to vinegar, people from Shaanxi never fall behind. The 6 degree mature vinegar is fermented for 6 to 10 years. In the thick sweet and sour sauce, it contributes both the sourness and the flavor brought by the fermentation of grains.
The vinegar from Minang isn't so sour and has a sweet aftertaste.
The Minang people, who prefer light flavors, have their own preferences for vinegar. Yongchun vinegar produced in Chuanzhou, made from fermented glutinous rice, tastes a bit sweet.
Generally, vinegar can soften the fibers in meat, making it more tender.
Using vinegar in dishes and enhancing their flavors have different expressions in various local cuisines, leaving their mark on dishes named with vinegar. For Li Minghui's family of 5, the time of making vinegar is also a time for reunion.
Watch out, brother.
Take care, brother.
Lu and her mother-in-law always make dumplings for a family feast. In the quiet vinegar vat, another treasure is about to emerge. As time goes by, a film forms on the surface of the persimmon vinegar. It thickens slowly, resembling fatty meat. Some call it vinegar coating, others vinegar cover. Is it edible? Simply put, it's the essence of persimmon vinegar, formed by high-quality microbial protein and a lot of cellulose. Sliced and mixed with sauce, it's a hidden delicacy, unique to the Deacon courtyard. In the underground courtyard, people, space, and microorganisms learn from each other's strengths and complement each other.
Looks like lean meat to me.
So sour.
It's like the Leon pea I usually eat.
When I feel tasteless, I drink some vinegar. I never had vinegar cover.
Mom loves vinegar. Do you know that?
No.
Mom is known as the vinegar jar.
We try to master microorganisms, but microorganisms inspire our taste buds. In the world of fermentation, microorganisms brew ingredients in countless ways, renewing flavors and silently enriching the culinary pleasures of the Chinese people. Shaoxing has been a prosperous place for thousands of years. Time has nurtured Jiangnan's elegance and a myriad of flavors. In this city,
you must try food made with Wangju lees in Shaoxing.
the gustatory wisdom related to brewing has been passed down in this land for millennia. Wang Yaping is one of the few female winemakers in Shaoxing. Her favorite flavor comes from a byproduct of brewing Shaoxing Huangjiu. Huangjiu lees usually retain about 10% alcohol. Slightly sweet and bitter, it is already rich in flavor. Adding salt for further fermentation can stimulate a strong aroma from the lees.
3 years. 3 years of fermentation is the best. These Huangjiu lees are mature, well matured.
The wine aroma in the lees almost dissipates after aging for over 3 years, but it retains a strong fermentation scent. Shaoxing people like to use it to cook pork belly and offal, infusing them with the aroma of the lees. Apply salt to the meat, wrap it in gauze, without any spices, and bury it in the lees. It takes 10 days for the aroma to permeate fully. The origin of this flavor can be traced back to the hottest summer days. In August, Shaoxing is unbearably humid and hot. A boat on Jinhu Lake breaks the morning tranquility. Fetching water from the lake and searching for herbs in the mountains are what every Shaoxing winemaker does year after year.
I'll pick the tender ones and dry them later. Spicy. This red-rooted plant is curly-top knotweed. We use it as a yeast for wine brewing.
All the aromas of Shaoxing Huangjiu originate in August. The essence of the wine's aroma comes from the yeast of curly-top knotweed, Jinhu lake water, and glutinous rice.
I have 2 sisters. I have liked winemaking since I was young, so my dad taught me. Just one man. Stand on it, keep your heel stick to the box, very close.
The yeast balls are put into the vat for fermentation. The auxin of curly-top knotweed assists the rapid growth of microorganisms, marking the first transformation of flavor. For months later, Shaoxing people start to make huangjiu in the winter. The glutinous rice is steamed, put into the vat, and mixed with the starter culture. Thus, the second fermentation begins. The complex 6-month fermentation process enables microorganisms to reproduce and grow, imparting warmth and vitality to the glutinous rice. Tiny bubbles narrate the story of the wine transforming from sour to sweet, and from sweet to fragrant. When the glutenin is completely degraded and turned into a mellow aroma, the microorganisms have completed their mission. Although the lees left are a byproduct of huangjiu making, they can still be valuable if used properly. After further fermentation for 3 years, they can transform ordinary home-cooked dishes, marinated for 10 days, into non-intoxicating delicacies.
Pork, marinated in huangjiu leaves, has the aroma of huangjiu without the fishy smell. In the meat,
In Shanghai, 200 kilometers away, the aroma of huangjiu leaves is expressed differently. The lees is diluted with huangjiu, and sweet osmanthus honey is added for sweetness. This technique is called jiaozhao. After one night, the aroma is just right. Simply cook the ingredients and soak them in the jiaozhao sauce. The seafood retains its umami, and the vegetables are savory. The sauce makes the food milder and gentler.
Mom, is this what you cooked today?
Yes, I used the Lee sauce. It's hot now.
Nice. It's great for hot weather, right?
Let's have this for breakfast.
All right.
It's hot. I should write this down now.
Recording cooking insights at any time seems to go beyond the behavior of an ordinary housewife. Hu Limei, now in her 80s, has over 60 years of cooking experience.
Back then, female barbers and pilots were all first generation. I'm a first generation female chef. That's when I started working at a restaurant. At the age of 19, the braids were inconvenient. I didn't like long hair, so I cut it short. After that, I went to a photo studio. I styled a little fringe. Just like this.
Although she has long been retired, Hu Limei's skills remain sharp. A signature dish that is still famous today pairs perfectly with her jiaozhao sauce.
How much is the yellow croaker?
50 yuan per kilogram. This one doesn't have a belly.
That's fine. I'll take that.
This one is different.
Okay, I want two. Okay.
Goodbye, Auntie.
Thank you.
Hu Limei often volunteers to teach cooking classes in the community. Those who attend are ordinary citizens who enjoy cooking. From her early career until now, she has focused on Shandong cuisine, with sautéed sliced fish and Lee's sauce being the most time-consuming. After retiring, she returned to her hometown. She switched the main ingredient from carp to yellow croaker. In her view, the tender yellow croaker pairs better with the mellow jiaozhao sauce.
We use egg white and cornstarch to coat the fish slices. This is like giving a baby a bath. It was a 7,000-member conference in Beijing. This is a group photo of the chefs. They cooked for the 7,000 people. Amazing, right? 4 dishes and 1 soup. Simple. Look, do you see that? Well, females usually don't have this muscle. Only the chefs do.
Although the wok has become smaller, whose muscle memory remains intact. In the gently melted lard, fish slices curl slightly, absorbing the lard's fragrance. Until they are 6/10 cooked, it's time for the Lee's sauce. The sauce, with the fragrance of sweet osmanthus, brings the classic northern dish, the gracefulness of jiangnan.
In Shandong cuisine, the toughest skill is dafangshao. When cooking fish slices, don't stir them. Do fashanshou instead. When you move the wok, you can't do it like this. You should let the ingredients fall over naturally and then catch them. It's very gentle.
Within a small space, countless delicacies are made. As time flows, we witness the changes of the world. Chinese culinary art is embodied in every grain and shown in 4 seasons. From microscopic to macroscopic, let's see if you also have the insight to understand the essence of it all. The beauty of food is more than the pleasure it brings to the taste buds. In the world invisible to the naked eye lies the great wisdom of the Chinese people in following the laws of nature and achieving harmony with it.